Hello everyone. Let us discuss about the difference between the grub stage, that is called in case of rhinoceros beetle, and in case of live root feeding root grubs. What is the exact difference between white grubs and root grubs? In case of white grubs, it looks like white in color and the head part is black in color, and the size compared to the root grubs, the size will be huge and it is a completely C shape, and it will be there in compost and in vermicompost, and the movement is very slow, sluggish movement, and actually the grub stage of rhinoceros beetle is um, going to feed on the organic matter, that is both compost and vermicompost. But please remember, the rhinoceros beetle grubs don't feed on the live roots. And coming to the um, root feeding root grubs. Root grubs, why we are called as root grubs? Because these root grubs are associated with the root zone of the any crops. It doesn't have a host specificity. Irrespective of crops, it's going to feed on the live roots. So it ranges from grasses to cereals, then pulses, fruit crops, plantation crops. Irrespective of the crops, the root grubs are going to feed on the live roots, and it will be near the root zone. And looking wise, the root grubs are yellowish in color. The head part is a golden yellow in color, and there is a one misunderstanding between the white grubs and the root grubs, and that's why farmers are not utilizing the compost. From seeing this video, please remember, there is a lot of difference between the root grubs and white grubs. From today onwards, definitely you can use without having a secondary thought, by treating the Metrrhizium ensopliae to the vermicompost and compost by leaving about 8 days. Definitely the Metrrhizium ensopliae going to grow on the white grubs. So the compost and vermicompost will be free from these white grubs. If at all, if it is there in the compost and vermicompost, there is no problem. But still, the areca nut and coconut growing farmers can treat the Metrrhizium ensopliae for around 4 kg per acre. Definitely, like suppose you are using 500 kg compost or vermicompost to the plot, so treat the 500 kg vermicompost with the 4 kg Metrrhizium ensopliae, cover with the tarpaul, leave for about 8 days, then broadcast the vermicompost or compost to the field. Then definitely it is free from the white grubs. So in any garden, to use this vermicompost and compost, you can use without having a secondary thought. And one more thing, the white grubs, the white grubs which is present in compost, it is not going to feed on the live roots. The so-called root grubs are the live roots feeders. And then the what exactly the rhinoceros beetle going to feed? The young ones are grub stage of the rhinoceros beetle. It is going to feed on the organic matter, but young ones of root grubs are going to feed on the live roots. So they are in these root grubs, the young ones are the damaging stage. And one more thing, what about the rhinoceros beetle? In case of rhinoceros beetle, the adult stages are the damaging stage. In case of coconut and groundnut, the fronds are infested by the rhinoceros beetle. You can see the irregular cuttings in case of coconut fronds. So with this information, I'll meet you people once again in the future videos. Thank you all.